Hi, darling. Welcome back. In the South African context, the conversation around pit bulls is one that is always filled with trauma, fear, and a lot of tension and discourse. In today's video, darling, I want us to have this conversation and unpack whether or not pit bulls are these tame animals that can be domesticated, or they are wild animals that need to be, for lack of a better word, discontinued or regulated. The first struggle that a lot of people have is defining what is a pit bull. Well, according to research, a pit bull is a dog part of the pit and terrier dog family. They are basically like the ancestors of that mixture. So, with the recent stories that have consistently been happening in South Africa, anytime we talk about pit bulls, it's always attached to tragedy. And as much as I can appreciate dogs, I have dogs at home, not pit bulls though. I can appreciate and understand why a lot of people have pit bulls in a context like our country for safety, for protection, and just because some people admire the sheer power of these dogs. To some people, having a pit bull is even like a status symbol. It's literally, there's people in comment sections when you see someone post a pit bull, people requesting to be like, oh, does your dog have puppies? As I was doing research for this particular topic, I wanted to understand this dog breed. And as I was studying, I was like, okay, what is its personality type? And it's a very curious dog, it's a very active dog, and it's a dog with a lot of endurance. In the wrong hands, that is a toxic combination. So I'll share more in continuing. My research led me to find out a lot about other dog species, like trying to figure out temperament and also trying to figure out the bite force. And as I was researching about the pit bull, it actually surprisingly has one of the lowest bite forces. It has a bite force of 235 to 250 pounds per square inch. The dog with the highest bite force is a Kangle. That is a dog from Turkey. It has a bite force of over 700 pounds per square inch. I don't think people understand how powerful a bite force of 700 pounds per square inch. Like the Kangle is the most powerful recorded dog breed in terms of bite force, but it hasn't even had fatalities. It rarely attacks human beings. It's a very calm dog breed. When you're telling me the most powerful dog breed hasn't caused a lot of human fatalities, the pit bull has caused more. The Kangle, compared to the pit bull, it's a very calm dog. It's a very relaxed dog. Whereas the pit bull is known for its endurance. It was bred, even the name pit bull means a dog that was bred basically for pit fighting, for baiting, what do they call bull baiting and other things. So it was bred specifically for that. My issue is not with the dog. My issue is, how long are we going to keep hearing these tragic stories that are consistently appearing on social media every year? Every year there's a child. Every year there's a domestic worker. Every year there's someone who suffers. There's a runner, there's a jogger who suffers a fatality from a pit bull. And guys, I know some people who love dogs. The dog lovers are going to hate me, but even as I was doing research, I wanted to be as balanced as possible. But the statistics point out that yes, all dogs bite, but the most gruesome and fatal dog bites come from a pit bull. And it's not because it has a jaw lock mechanism. No, it's because the dog has endurance. It doesn't tire quickly. And in the wrong hands, that is dangerous combination. Like I found out even in America, even in South Africa, 2 out of 3 dog fatalities were from pit bull. Even the research shows that the most fatalities, even in South Africa, from dog attacks were from pit bulls. So I say this. I'm not saying that people shouldn't own pit bulls for your own safety, but I genuinely believe that we need to have more empathy for other people's safety, and we need to make sure that any South African who owns a pit bull is trained, has the papers, has the documentation, is trained to know how to handle the dog in any case. Like one of the things that was so shocking as I was reading, this is a dog breed that has to be trained not to be vicious. And I'm not saying this like as just a joke. It's literally a case. This is a dog breed that has to be trained not to be vicious. Other people actually train other dog breeds to be vicious. That information for me is already alarming, and it scares me when I see how trendy it is in the townships for people who are untrained to have dogs. Even family, it's the way the people is treated, like isolated. People, I don't know what's this thing with most of us in the township and in the hood. Whenever people have a pit bull, they isolate it from people. They want to promote its aggressive traits. Let's be honest, a lot of people want to promote the dog's aggressive traits by isolating it. And this is a dog breed that needs to be socialized around people. If you don't want it to be violent, it has to be used to seeing children, it has to be outside, not you chaining it in the behind your house as just this creature that, because one day it will turn on you. As I was doing research, the stories that came up were just heartbreaking. I literally had to pause and process and cry it out, because the stories, the people who've been mauled by these dogs, the disfigurement, the story, it's just traumatizing. Even watching people, instead of helping, some people record these dog attacks. I am calling out to the fact that, to all South Africans, could we at least try to create regulations? Or because I know in 2022 there was a huge surge in people calling out for regulations, but it seems to have stopped. But I'm hoping that we could call for regulations, and not everyone should own a pit bull. Like, not everyone. Some people want to own a pit bull just to make it vicious. It's already a very powerful dog breed. Why do you want to encourage that? And it's so unfortunate that eventually the owner of the dog will have to take the, basically you pay for the repercussions if ever your dog has to attack people. There needs to be regulations, there needs to be documentation, there needs to be specific training for anyone who owns a pit bull. Because think about this, to have a gun, to have a gun in South Africa, you need to have a license to operate a gun. I think that should be another thing that should be done for pit bulls. To own a pit bull, you need to have a license, you need to be trained. You need to know what to do with the dog in emergency situations. Let's say it tries to attack someone. You need to know what to do with your dog, because it's so scary when I watch the videos and people don't know what to do when a pit bull attacks someone. I don't hate the dog. I just feel like owners are irresponsible. I feel a lot of pain for the people who had to witness such trauma. I feel pain. And I'm just like, we move on so quickly in South Africa from the important issues that affect us. We move on from trauma. We move on so easily from these things and we don't find solution to it. So I say we need to find a way to create responsible ownership of this dog breed, because we can't have these deaths could have been prevented. And I'm like, guys, these are human beings. Like, the amount of disfigurement, the trauma, the pictures, the things that I've seen just trying to figure out what happened. We need to be more empathetic. We need to be more responsible when it comes to dog ownership, especially with dangerous dog breeds. There needs to be some kind of training, I don't know, or licensing. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. What should we do about this issue? And thank you so much for watching. And if you managed to watch the rest of the video, thank you. Okay, bye.